Hello. Hello, how are you, family and friends? Welcome to another session of Family Strategy. Okay, I need to adjust my jacket. Okay, how you doing, by the way? Thank you very much for all of you who've joined me every day since we started this. The plan is to actually run through this entire month teaching something on family strategy every day. So I want to appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for joining me on Instagram, the people on YouTube, and the people on LinkedIn. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure when I see you guys and then when you guys join and you are learning. Thank you for all of you are sending me DMs. There are topics you want me to treat. I'm going to treat them. I'm going to handle them. Don't worry. That's why I'm here for you. Now, someone says that hey, I've sent you all back to school. Well, that's what I do. I love to lecture, but much more than lecturing, I love strategy. It brings out the best in me. And so when I see a difficult case, I want to hack it because I always believe that I can win it, right? Well, I win some, I learned from the other. And so, but I'm always grateful. It's been 24 years of practice. Thank you very much for all those of you who believed in me, and thank you for those who are placing orders for the family combo. Um, I can't thank you enough, but I must congratulate you as well because one of the things I believe I've been sent to do is to provide clarity and direction for families across the globe. It's something that comes naturally to me. I think it's a superpower that I have. The capacity to create intellectual property that can help people master their wellness. And so, if you have not gotten the family combo, then maybe you don't love your family. But trust me, guaranteed, if it doesn't work for you in 90 days, return it. But I know that it works because people who have done just 1 week are sharing testimonials. Okay, so today we are quickly going to do a bit of strategy on your in laws. Well, your in laws are not your spouse. 5 survival strategies. I have worked with a couple of people who are singles, but they're already praying that they don't want to have in laws, especially mother in law. And this goes specifically to those of us who are from Africa. Now, I walk across various cultures, and I know this is not prominent in some cultures because your mother in law, father in law is not likely going to disturb you. Once you are 18, you are literally on your own. They can advise, but they don't impose their will on you. But from Africa, where we come from, even till the time you're 70, hey, people still, a friend was telling me, this my friend is, well, slightly older than me. He's about 55, and then he has Teddy. And so he was having a video call with his dad, and his dad looked at him and frowned at him and told him he should go and take it off. He had to remind his dad that I'm 55, right? That's the way we are. And sometimes it's meant to provide support for us, but it can also sabotage us at other times, right? The fundamental trust of family system engineering, which is the field that we have created that is now going across the globe, is that a family is a nation. And when you understand the concept of a nation, you know that a nation has got the head of state, the vice president, and the citizens, right? And so in this case, the eligible owners of the new nation is the husband, wife, and his children. Now, every other person who comes to that nation are not necessarily citizens of that nation. They're either maybe they're on visiting visa or they have a green card, equivalent of green card, which is legal occupant of that nation, right? And then you can now decide to give them citizenship on trust because citizenship can be revoked. The only one that cannot be revoked is citizenship by birth. Are we together? Now, when you understand this foundation, then it becomes very easy to deal with this issue because oftentimes from Africa, where we come from, when people get married, they say you don't just get married to your spouse, you are also married to the family, provided the family. That presupposes that the family is a good family. Because we've had situations where, a mother literally moves in and becomes the first wife or the second wife. I've seen cases where a mother went to visit and told her son, asked her son why the wife was in the room with him, that the children were still young, so she should be staying with the children And the man literally moved his wife's things to the children's room. It's unbelievable. I've seen a lot in my 24 years of practice that makes me know that if you are blessed with good in laws, or if you have a spouse who is a person of himself, who is mature enough to put his foot down, then you are blessed. Or if I use the KJV English, thou art blessed. Because some people don't have it that good. And now, in order not to make it look like this mother in laws, father in laws are bad people, there is a background to it. Oftentimes, we do not know the history between son and mother or daughter and father. Some of these people, they have their own preferred choice of who they think their son or daughter should get married to. Now, if you are from that family and then you married someone else, you have already upset their calculation. Because when you were young, some people have promised their friends that their child is going to marry you and things like that. And then, so you have this lady hovering around you who was your bestie or best of friend. And then the families were already anticipating that you guys are going to tie the knot. And then comes a lady or comes a guy. So that person is already going to fight the war. However, when the Bible says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, the two shall become one flesh. It actually means that you must become a person of your own, because once you leave a family to set up another family, it's like you have declared independence from a country to now go and set up a country. Now, there's the principle of sovereignty, which some cultures don't believe in anyway. Territorial integrity of your new nation must be respected. And so, what your originating nation can do is to provide support. They cannot impose their will on your new nation, because your new nation has got its own idea, it's got its own identity, it's got its own ideology, it's got its own rules and regulation. Now, if you understand me up until this point, I want you to type yes. Whether on YouTube, whether on Instagram, Instagram audience, I'm sure you're wondering, this guy is crazy. But I'm teaching you family strategy. Now, a lot of people have destroyed a family simply because a funny question came up. You have to choose between your wife or your mother. Or your wife, a woman says to her husband, choose between me and your mother. There is no need for choice, because both people have their places. And one of the things people need to understand is that a spouse can divorce you. There's hardly, it's almost unlikely that your mother is going to disown you, or your father is going to disown you, except in extreme cases. And so we need to understand that the mother cannot take the role of the wife cannot take the role of the mother. And so the best um, framework is for all of them to work together. Now, here is the big problem. Culturally, we believe in some parts of Nigeria or Africa, it's believed that a woman who doesn't have a baby or have a child is naked. So they believe that the child is the cloth that covers the woman. And so, take for instance a woman who couldn't have a child, and then she has to face pressures from family, from in laws. Eventually, God answers the prayers, maybe in the 15th year of a marriage, right? And then I'll take another woman who has lost her husband pretty much early, and she literally suspended her life to ensure that this guy turns out right or this lady turns out right. Unknown to many people, the identity of that person is already framed or built around that child. The child is the object of war, is a prize that must be won, and a trophy that must be protected against all odds. So if you don't understand the surrounding or the foundation or the background to some of these behaviors, you may be fighting a lost battle, or you may put the person in question in a tight situation where he cannot choose either side, right? Now, we always say to women or men or parents, your child cannot become your identity, or your identity must not be lost in your bid to parent. Don't, in your bid to parent, give up your personal pursuit, give up what gives you joy, such that your child is the object of your joy. The day your child finds another person, you are likely going to destroy that home. Now, if I've laid all this foundation, we now have situations where some in-laws believe that the wife is our wife. Now, I know some cultures subscribe, alludes to that, but that is not a good place to be, because some women have been destroyed in some cultures maybe because of the past. I mean, we still have a situation where a friend died, and she's a woman dies, and then almost immediately the family of this my friend started saying that it was the husband that killed her. That they said, "Oh, this man killed her, he beat her." Meanwhile, these people, you would hardly even see them argue because they're just I mean, they are perfect couples, good friends. But then the family is saying something else, right? And they are saying that this man must bring the woman to the village, right, for them to bury. They literally were saying to him that he has no say. It became a messy issue. So you have all these kind of things if you're an African, and that's why it's always important before you marry someone to understand their customs, to understand their culture, to know if there are nuances that you need to be aware of, because and then to be able to decide and agree before you get married how you're going to live your life. So if I have said all of this, we must honor our in-laws. However, we are not married to them. And so, one of the things you want to quickly do, I always say, if you have a difficult in-law, maybe mother-in-law, there is a code. It's called code praise, my name. P stands for praiser. R stands for readily respond respectfully to her intention. Not even before she's asking, while she's thinking, you must respond, right? A, acknowledge her input and impact, even when she has none. Appreciate her, especially if she's an African woman. Appreciate her for raising a responsible son. Appreciate her for what she's done. Appreciate her for what she hasn't done. I interview her, get interested in her. Oh, tell her, oh, mama, can you teach me how to make your favorite dish? My husband or my wife is always talking about, please, can you come and teach me? It's not because you want to learn anything, it's because you want to position yourself as a mentee to her. S, solve a problem with speed and smile. Solve a problem with speed and smile. Prioritize him or her, and he exceed her expectation. She's going to get on your nerves initially, trying to get you worked up, trying to get you to be rude to her. Don't fall for that, right? If you follow that, you're going to be fine. However, there are the 5 strategic codes that can help you set boundaries early. What it means is, before I ever got married, right, I'd done my research on family system where it was still in its starting ages. And so I have seen what makes marriages work. And so we had sat down to decide that we weren't going to just allow people barging on us. So when I got married, my mother's house to my father had passed, my mother's house to my house was about 20 minutes drive, maybe 15 minutes. My mother-in-law's house to my house was 10 minutes walk, right? And we lived in that place for like 3 or 4 years. We could almost count the number of times they came to visit us. As a matter of fact, if our doorbell ever rang, we were too sure the person coming wasn't coming to look for us. Maybe it was a neighbor. You know why? Because all our friends also knew these boundaries. You couldn't just show up in our house. No, it was never going to happen, right? And it was a mutual conversation, a mutual decision. So you want to set boundaries early, premaritally. You need to sit down. What kind of family are we going to run? And sometimes why you want to set these boundaries is because things can be bad sometimes where you don't even have meat, you don't have food, but you can manage if it's just the two of you. Once you're bringing in a family member, you have to worry. And so you don't want people to just barge on you when you are not in the right frame of mind to welcome them. What if you just have one room? What if you have 2 rooms? What if there's no space for them to? What if you are sleeping on the floor? There are things that is known to both of you, right? So you want to set the boundaries early and communicate it to them. Oh, we're so sorry. If you want to come and visit us, please give us a call ahead of time because oftentimes we're not at home. Very key. Step 2 that I'm going to recommend is that present a united front. And this is the most critical key. What we say is that in the family system engineering framework, we say that you need to create a system, right, that ensures that the people coming to visit or stay over go through your family system or family manual, as it were. So every family is supposed to have, I mean, if you're going to go into a new nation, you need to understand the rules. So you've got your rules and regulation. So you need to take people through orientation, especially if someone is going to stay with you for more than 72 hours if you have children. Because if care is not taken, they're going to upset the family system you're trying to set up by coming. And ignorance is no excuse. But you can also blame them if you don't teach them to know how your family runs. So if your folks are coming to visit as the wife, be the one to educate them. Oh, we have light out this time. We have this. This is internet. Oh, we do not give children our phone. We do not watch this kind of movie. We do not play this channel. It is your responsibility to take them through the drill. If it's the husband's people, it is the husband's responsibility. Present a united front. Your no has got to be no. Don't be emotional about this thing. He will save you what I'm saying. Three, use honor, not hostility. Dr. It was President Barack Obama said that we do not negotiate with terrorists. There is what we call domestic terrorists. Domestic terrorist is anyone that creates trouble for you or your spouse and your children. That's a domestic terrorist. Now, some of these domestic terrorists are emotional terrorists, as it were, right? They didn't go about to become terrorists, but what they are doing looks like terrorism. They are causing trouble, saying these things they should not say. What you need to do, honor. And that honor can be sometimes gifting them a house, gifting them a car. Just give them something that makes them leave your space, as it were. So use honor. If God has blessed you, you might just buy them a house and say, oh, we are presenting you a house. At least once they have their own space, they can be coming to your space, as it were. So use honor, not hostility. You need to have a conversation and let them understand this. Now, number four, avoid triangulation. And that's very important. There is this temptation wherein, a family member lives with you, and then the two of you are having issues among yourself, and then that third party becomes the person both of you talk to, and then you're not resolving your issues amidst yourself, right? You don't want that to ever happen. You see, a whisperer separate the best of friends, and once you show that the gap exists between both of you, they're going to come in. And that's why, see, when we say get the family combo, it's not because we want to make sales. That's good. We've made it affordable because a lot of families, 9 out of 10 families I'm working with, they don't have a family governance system. And family governance system is the most important system you actually need to build, right? And that's your family vision, your family values, your DNA creed of your family, and then the rituals and routine, and then your family culture. There is a process, a protocol, a framework. That's why you want to work with. If you don't want to work with me, just look for someone who has a certification in family system engineering. They know how to drill. They know how to help you set up this framework. So avoid triangulation, which this will help you because once you have your family governance in place, this won't even be an issue. Right. Number five, create distance without disrespect. Sometimes some of these people are high-handed. They're not going to allow things be, right? And so you want to create your distance without disrespect. Sometimes you might want to even leave the country and relocate, or you might want to live far away from them and just go visit, right? Some family members are very rude, right? You are older than them, but then they expect you to be their slave. I mean, I've seen families where you go for maybe a holiday and everybody expects you to be cooking when you're not the cook. You might want to hire a chef, right? Or hire a caterer and ensure that everything they need is available. You need to be able to, you see, what strategy does is what outcome do we want? What is the internal capacity? Do we have the capacity? If there's no capacity, you need to grow the capacity because that will show the gap. And then what is the operating environment? If you are leaving your space, you are the king in your space. But in another person's territory, you are a subject. So if you are leaving your space to go to the in-law space, you need to know that that's not your space. But it's mutual respect. They need to respect you. However, you need to be culturally intelligent. If you know the drill is, oh, everybody does their dishes or everybody sits with the mother to support, you want to support. Don't just go and sit. You need to understand the culture. It's not that one day it's not going to kill you. It's cultural intelligence. Are you with me? Right. So you want to create distance without disrespect. So if you follow these 5 things, you're going to be fine. Right. But you see, I believe that we are better. It's better to build bridges than to dig dungeons. We don't always have to wage wars when we can actually make love. The best and ideal thing is when you posture yourself as a family member, as a respectable person who is wise and smart. Some of them will try to insult you initially, they'll try to trample on, but don't feel offended. Look at them as people who need help, and how can you support and help them? You can always win them over. It's going to take some time, but you can always win them over. Don't think that they will respect you from day one. If you get that, I mean, my family, my mother will respect you from day one. But if you can't get that, then find a way to win. There are influencers amidst them. Some of them, it's just a gift. Some of them, it's just love. All right, you want to figure that out, but you can win with this strategy. I hope this has been helpful today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. All the previous sessions I've done is on YouTube. If you're not following me, go on my YouTube, Praise Forward Live, subscribe. You have the entire family strategy. I think I've done like 4 or 5 right now. And thank you very much. I love you all. I can't wait to hear your testimonies, and go get your family combo. You can do the scan code and just go there, order. The books will be shipped to you within 72 hours. Or if you want me to work with you to build an intelligent family, you can also use the scan code as well. Hey, you can slide into my DM and send a message, or you can get on my bio and schedule book for a 15 minutes clarity session, which is free. But anything outside of that, you've got to pay for it. Thank you very much, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. I honor you. I can see your marriage working. I can see your family working. And I think we can actually build a world that works if we learn to build effective family system. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. Bye.